I'm Steve Turano. Welcome to Ask a Real Expert. Sean sent me this question. He said, Steve, I lost 30 pounds watching your prior videos. He says, unfortunately, I put a lot of it back on because I went back to college. But now I'm eating healthier, fruits and vegetables, and I'm working out again. He said, I don't have access to weights, so I typically do what P90X does. I do high-intensity body weight type training. He said, you don't seem to like that very much. Could you tell me more about it? Now, Sean, there's nothing wrong with the P90X type training. I always tell people if I was stuck in a jail cell and all I had was my body weight to work with, I would do a high-intensity interval training type of training like P90X, because you only have your body weight to work with. So you've got to go fast with little rest, maybe multiple exercises to create that kind of intensity. Some of the challenges with that type of training is it will only take you so far because you can only do so much with your body weight and you can only be so creative with exercises. But the problem I have with people and this type of training is they get a misperception that this type of training burns fat, and it doesn't. It's weight training. I don't care how fast your heart is beating. It's anaerobic training. So if you want to do that type of a training regimen, that's fine. But you also have to incorporate some type of cardiovascular program. Now again, this feels like cardiovascular activity or a cardiovascular program because you're jumping, you're doing push-ups, you're punching, you're kicking, your heart's ready to leap out of your chest. But that is not aerobic enough. Basically, your heart is beating really fast because you've become anaerobic. The muscles have become overwhelmed or overworked, they're starving for oxygen, and now your heart's beating, trying to feed them oxygen. But again, it can't. So you're not burning tons and tons and tons of calories. So if you want to do a P90X type of workout, that's fine, that's great. But you have to incorporate some type of consistent, more effective cardio, like walking, jogging, running, that kind of stuff. And when you see people, not only in these programs, but other programs, you'll notice that the before and after shots, while they look pretty good, many of the people are not super fat because you can't lose 50 pounds in 90 days. But you can change the look of your physique if you're not really fat and you start weight training. Because usually if somebody hasn't weight trained before, their muscles respond relatively quickly. So again, if you're doing some type of intense training and your body's not used to it, boom, it responds quickly, whether it's P90X or weight training. You'll see immediate results. And it's easier to see on somebody who's thin because their muscles aren't covered with body fat. So if you started a P90X program or a weight training program or just push-ups and sit-ups in your house, you'd say, wow, man, I could see a big difference. And if you haven't seen a friend or your mom for 3 months, they would say, wow, you really look different. So again, there's nothing wrong with P90X, okay? Don't get me wrong. What I don't like is the implication that they have a commercial and they show people doing all this stuff, and again, you actually have to work your way up to that level of training. It's very intense, and it's not a bad way to train if you like that look. And if you only have a limited amount of resources, that's fine. But again, I don't want people to have the misperception that that type of high-intensity interval weight training will burn body fat. It will not. It will burn calories, but it's nowhere near as effective as cardio and diet. So again, remember, getting in shape is a combination of 3 things: cardio, diet, and weight training. And depending on where you are in that mix, you adjust it appropriately. Hey man, I'm getting pretty lean. I don't have to pay attention to my diet as much, or I can back down on the cardio. Hey, I'd like to get bigger and stronger. I need to lift more. So these are some of the principles that I want people to be aware of so they can make accurate decisions about weight training, bodybuilding, fitness, nutrition, and if they want to buy a program, they know the facts. I'm Steve Turano. Train smart, train hard.